Thank you. And they asked me to do it this morning. Somebody couldn't make it, so that's why I'm a few minutes. Because I just jumped on and did it. No secrets. No chat.
And I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. I thought I was myself, and I didn't know. But I was all you, and I didn't know. Through the day I thanked you, and I didn't know. At night I laid with you, and I didn't know. And I didn't know, but I was all you, and I didn't know. Between our hearts there's a shutter we can open, but what is there to open when no one's remained? There's a shutter we can open, but what is there to open when no one's remained? Now beyond ideas of right and wrong, there's an open field. I'll lead you there when the soul lies down upon my past. Words like you and I stop making any sense. We're all one soul struggling on the path. We're all one light from different lands. You and I didn't know. At night I lay with you and I didn't know. I thought I was myself and I didn't know. But I was all you and I didn't know. Through the day I thanked you and I didn't know. At night I lay with you and I didn't know. Myself and I didn't know, but I was all you and I didn't know. Between our hearts there's a shadow we can open, but what is there to open when no walls remain? There's a shadow we can open, but what is there to open when no walls remain? Between our hearts there's a shadow we can open.
those of you that are here in person, I think some people just prefer to stay under the covers this morning. It's one of those cold, dark mornings, and I think we're going to get snow. I'm so excited, finally. And so those of you who are joining us via our live stream, whether it's today or tomorrow or any day in the future, we're glad you're here visiting with us. We are Center for Spiritual Living Morristown. I'm Frankie Timmers, and this is the last Sunday in February. So we are wrapping up the month of curiosity as our superpower in the theme of living out loud, and today the topic is radical curiosity. What the heck is radical curiosity? What makes it radical? Well, hang around and I will happily share with you. And then we're going to make some decisions today on how we can live from that place of radical curiosity in the relationship of the science of mind teaching. So you can find us on the web, cslmorristown.org. You can find us on, I think we're still on Twitter, not sure, but Facebook and Meetup and YouTube. And so these are all places where you can visit with us. And we would love your feedback. And if anybody wants to be on our mailing list and you aren't yet, let us know, because every week we send out information on what's happening here at the center. For example, what's Friday?
Healing Circle.
Healing Circle, first Friday of the month, Healing Circle with our beloved Gail Belluardo right here in this room, 7 p.m. And then on Tuesday is yoga! What's this? We have yoga with Steve D'Arsitano. I am so surprised that not more people are joining us, because usually Lori and I are there. It is so much fun. If you've never done yoga, try it, because Steve gives you adaptations on certain postures that are a little more difficult for some. And it's on Zoom, so you can do it right from your house. I love it, and it's so fun to take a class with Steve, right? And you feel so good afterwards, and it's the best sleep. It's from 6:30 to 7:45. If you join us for the first time, you have to sign a waiver. You can find that on our website or on the weekly blast that we send out. If you need more information, let me know. I'll happily help you make that happen. And on March 26th, which is a Sunday, the last Sunday in March, a month from now, we have our very, very dear Kat Roman doing a sound bath, which she's done here before, and it's just something that you show up to and you don't have to do anything. You just zone out, lying down, not standing up, and it's just beautifully relaxing. So we hope you will join us for that. So let's do our namaste practice. This is where we greet one another. Just put your hands together. Namaste is the Sanskrit expression of the divinity in me blesses the divinity in you. So namaste. Remember, as you're giving it, to also receive it from others. I love how you all intend to do everybody. So fabulous. And now let's treat our word for affirmative prayer. Spiritual mind treatments. I love that word, spiritual mind treatment, where we treat our mind to a higher idea. So right here, right now, I open my mind, my heart, my body, my soul to the experience of the divine which is ever flowing through me. And when I say I, my, me, I'm not speaking about Frankie. I'm speaking about the essence of each and every one of us, our higher self, whose name is I am. So today, I open to the I am of the I am. I open to the truth of my very being. I surrender to the internal wisdom that has always been there, always will be there, is there now, because it is my spiritual DNA. And as I open to this, I allow myself to be more and more curious about this profound, infinite connection that is the vehicle for me to experience my own divinity. And today I open up to that in regards to areas where I might have forgotten, whether I'm conscious of it or not. And I allow those areas to become the fertile soil of the divine presence in terms of wisdom and healing and creativity and joy and freedom. Trusting this and so much more, I surrender this word to the universal law, which knows exactly how to demonstrate it for me, to me, through me, in me, and as me. And I accept that completely. And let's each accept it for ourselves by saying together, and so it is. So today I want to go right into my talk, and I want to do a little spiritual practice by terms of the music that we have. So I was looking through the concordance, and our concordance is the book that has every word that's in the Science of Mind textbook by Ernest Holmes. And in the concordance, what's not there is the word curiosity, or curious. And I was like, what? After all these years being in his teaching, I never knew that. I never realized that. Now, Ernest Holmes wrote about 100 books, so there's about 99 others besides the Science of Mind textbook, which is a textbook. And I'm sure it's in there all over the place, because remember on the first Sunday of the month, I talked about how Ernest Holmes' nickname as a teenager was the eternal question mark. Because all he did was ask questions. He was driving his relatives crazy. Because he was so infinitely curious about life, and he was studying the different world religions, and he was exploring spirituality and his own experience of the divine so powerfully that he created the Science of Mind teaching and the organization that came from that. Even though he says it's part of New Thought, there's nothing new to Science of Mind. It is just New Thought in terms of a new way of expressing ancient wisdom that's been around since the beginning of time. And so I kind of got excited about that, because to me the word curiosity has taken on a different meaning this month as we've explored it as a superpower. And so we want to explore that a little bit today. And those of you that have the journal, we have this lovely journal for the month. I want you to open it to this week. The topic says Living Curiosity Out Loud, which is not the topic today. It's radical curiosity. But I want you to write some things down, not that I'm saying, but that you're hearing inside. So those of you that first want to think about it a little bit and want to write it down, we can come back to it later. But I have a curiosity, and the curiosity has to do with why you love the Science of Mind teaching. Why are you here? Why do you love the teaching? Does anybody have it right off the top of their head? I love the Science of Mind teaching because
it changed my life.
It changed my life. I think it sums it up, right? What else?
Give me a community. Big community.
For community.
Power of prayer.
Power of prayer.
Keeps me open to possibilities.
Keeps me open to possibilities.
Brings me peace.
Keeps me curious.
Brings me peace.
It brings me peace. Yeah, I want you to really think about what it is that you love about the teaching. We have a few more of these in case Tom Ray says, oh, I want one too. I don't know why you wouldn't, because these are fun. But so today I have 3 radical ideas using curiosity. I have 3 radical ideas that are Science of Mind based to explore curiosity. And they may challenge you. You ready? All right. The first one. Science of Mind and Center for Spiritual Living is not for entertainment. It's for transformation. And I'm not saying that those of you that come for entertainment shouldn't be here. Of course, come, be a part of the community, be excited about the teaching. But I believe the radical idea of our teaching is about transformation. So I want you to see the transformation that has happened or is happening or continues to happen because of the teaching. And that you don't just come because it feels good. I know a lot of people that are into spirituality, it's because it looks good on the outside, it sounds good, a little arrogant sometimes, right? Or it's just to feel good. That's not what this teaching is about. Even though I will never, ever judge anyone that says, you know what, I just come here to feel good, to get through my day, get through the week. That's fine, because it is about both ends. It's not either or, right? But I really want to challenge you to apply the teaching and to live it every single day. And what would make my heart sing more than anything if I say, everybody take a turn and do a spiritual mind treatment out loud. I would bet the majority of you would freak out. And that's okay too. But the idea is that if you do one thing and learn how to do a spiritual mind treatment and do it out loud on the spot and not be nervous or worried or anxious or worried what other people think or what it sounds like. That's what you want to arrive at. You want to arrive at this place where you can do an affirmative prayer on the spot, anytime, anywhere. So that when you're in traffic and you're late for work, you can just stop, drop, and treat. If you have to stop the car, you can. I don't need to anymore. I can just treat while I'm driving. Or if you get some bad news, or if you get a cough or a sore throat, or if you have a challenge with money, or if you have something with health or in relationship, that the first thing, your first thought is, let me do a spiritual mind treatment. Why? Because our teaching works. And it works if you work it. I know they say that in 12 steps, but it works if you work it. And so learn to do affirmative prayer. Or have a pile of treatments that somebody else has done, whether it's on YouTube, because we do an opening and a closing, or a practitioner that you're seeing, or one that's written, because they're all over the place. Seek them out and begin to do them. I have some favorites. I have one favorite treatment that's 30 years old that I do regularly. I reach for it because it's so powerful. So the idea is then that we get to be curious all the time. And so I've been curious this month a lot about Black History Month. And so I've been studying and learning some new things and kind of going, oh gosh, I didn't know that. So I read this article, and I'm happy to send it to anybody who wants to. It's a pretty long article, but I want to talk about it a little bit because it made me radically curious. And I got really excited about it. And I began to think, well, what's so exciting about it? And how can I take some of that inspiration and weave it into my day-to-day living? This is about 10 Black women innovators and the awesome things they brought us. I had no idea that Dr. Shirley Jackson was the one who invented aspects of a phone that now allows us to have a smartphone. Who knew that, right? Alice H. Parker was the one who invented the little heaters. Sarah Good invented space-saving furniture. You know, like those cool desks that have 5 million drawers in them. Marie Van Britten Brown invented the home security system. This is all way back when, so these are the beginnings of it. Sister Rosetta Tharpe, who knows her? She invented rock and roll. Who knew? Lyda D. Newman invented a hairbrush that was not so problematic with tangling. Bridget Biddy Mason, she helped to shape downtown Los Angeles. Mary Beatrice Davidson Kenny, she discovered a better menstrual pad. Thank God. I could go into that one, but I won't. Valerie Thomas, 3D movies. And Patricia Bath, she drastically improved the process of removing cataracts. So I will happily send this article to you that has more information. But just think that these are 10 women who have in their history what? Slavery. Major obstacles, major trauma, major abuse, major setback, mostly. And they overcame that. And so we get to ask ourselves, how can I look at some of the challenges that I have in my life and allow them to be the vehicle through which I grow and expand and overcome them? Science of Mind teaching will do that. It has transformed many of our lives, including my own. The second thing, I had 3 radical ideas, I said, right? So this, I want to start with a quote from Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind magazine this month. You can tell how much I love that. And we have next month's. We only have a few copies, so if people want next month's, we have that. So this is from Thoughts Are Things in the book by Ernest Holmes. There is nothing in the universe that limits you. Think of just that phrase. And hear it inside. There's nothing in the universe that limits you. Right? When I first read this line, I was like, oh yeah, right. I'll give you my list. Right? But there's nothing in the universe that limits you, or that would or could desire to limit you. There's nothing in the universe that withholds from you, because in so doing, it would withhold from itself. You are some part of its purpose. Therefore, the Spirit seeks, urges, pushes against you to fulfill itself. What if any challenge you and I have is Spirit pushing us to express our inherent freedom? Notice how much we resist when we have a challenge. Notice how hard we fight for the limitation. Much of that is not conscious. I don't know many people that say, you know what, I'm going to fight God about my insecurities. I'm going to have a boxing match to fight for my age, feeling old or feeling too young or feeling ugly or feeling pretty, whatever it may be. And yet we do. When we're struggling, what we're really doing is Spirit is pushing us and we're pushing back. Instead of saying, let me be radically curious here in terms of the Science of Mind teaching. What would Ernest Holmes say? What would Laurie, my practitioner, say? What would Reverend Janice, my teacher, my minister, say? What would Frankie say? So we will never agree with your limitations. The moment I do, you need to fire me. I might have compassion for you. Of course I do. Because it's part of our human experience. But in this teaching, we embrace the challenges, the limitations, in a way that compassion rises and we make a decision to make a change for the better. Use it to teach it because it works. And if you're not sure, who can we ask? Who can we ask? I want to see your hands. Who can I ask? Okay. 2. I want to do this again. If you're having a struggle and you forget the Science of Mind teaching, which one of you can I come to ask? Yes, and I'll point at yourself. Yes. So there's this interesting thing that we learned about in psychology, PTSD. I'm going to say something really challenging. We all have it. Living in the world today, we all have PTSD to some degree or other. Of course, none of us went to war. None of us were in horrible, tragic experiences like we sometimes see on the news. But we all have some of that because we just live at difficult times. But there's something else called PTSS. Is that it? Wait. PTGS, which means post-traumatic growth syndrome. Post-traumatic growth syndrome. There is such a thing now, which is when you overcome trauma and you thrive. Do you know anybody? Who do you know? You. Who else do you know? Me. Who else do you know? Who do you know went through extreme trauma and thrived? That's famous.
Myself.
Yeah. Who else?
Oprah and Ringo Starr.
Who?
Oprah and Ringo Starr.
Oprah Winfrey, Ringo Starr, Malala. Who else? Extreme trauma and is thriving today. Has healed. Zelensky. Who else? Anita Moorjani. Yes, we all know people that are famous. They've written books. They've done movies or documentaries. And yes, we can include ourselves. But we look at people who went through extreme trauma and thrive today. That's called post-traumatic growth. What am I saying? Post-traumatic growth. Yeah, the key word is growth, right? To move from trauma to growth, these 10 women, by the way, I'm sure, means that we are noticing what we are experiencing, what we have experienced, and we use it for good. For ourselves and for the world. Because those people that you named, surely there are times where you just go, oh, they inspire me so much. But don't stop there. Don't stop like, oh, they're so inspiring. They inspire me so much. Well, how? And then go do that. Go be that. Go and live that. Go embrace that. Go embody that with what we teach. Starting with spiritual mind treatment. Number 3, you and I do not have problems. You and I do not have one problem. You and I are the problem. Think of the difference. When we say, I have a problem, versus I am the problem. That science of mind, in a nutshell, is to stop thinking that you have problems and to start thinking that your consciousness is the source of life. In our teaching, we say, consciousness creates. My life is a result of my consciousness. Much of it I love, some of it not so much. Is that a problem outside of me? No, it's how I see it, how I interpret it, what I believe about that. That is grist for the mill that is so freaking yummy and juicy. Because if I embrace it and work with it, that's when I grow. If I keep thinking I have a problem and I name my problems, guess what's going to happen? It's going to continue to be your problem until you say, there's something going on in my consciousness that makes me experience this. And it is a limiting idea that I hold. And so, yikes, right? The most important aspect of this is that you don't use it against yourself. Because the tendency, when we're on the spiritual path, when we have a problem, is to say, something's wrong with my consciousness. Something's wrong with me. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough. And we start just dragging our own energy down, because that's what it does when we're hard on ourselves. It sucks the life out of us. You know how you feel when you feel good and happy. And you know when you don't. Energetically, that does something. That doesn't mean you have to be walking around, oh, everything's fine. No, but it means that you must take time every day to reflect and to notice and to pay attention. And then make a note what it is that you're going to work on. I have 3 practitioners, 3 prayer partners. And I never run out of topics to treat them on, ever. Even this morning, Reverend Michelle and I treat on Sunday mornings. I said to her, you go first because I haven't thought of anything yet. But I'll have something. And then we treat it. Once I listened to her, and I went, I got something. And it was a surprise to me because I didn't even know that was going on in me. But when we really pay attention, it will tell us and it will show us. And so, the good news about all this, in case some of you are a little depressed now, the good news is that we can change. We can change. Anything can change in a snap. Anything. Health issues, financial issues, relationship issues, work or calling issues. They can change in a second when we change our consciousness. If something isn't changing in your experience that you've been struggling with, just ask yourself, why is it so important to hold on to that? Because there is a reason, there's a payoff, or you would not be holding on to it. So do a little bit of radical curiosity practice with yourself. And so, what do we do with all this? Well, how do we do it? Well, the good news is that we have a lifetime. And the even better news is that everything that we need to know, everything that we need, is already available within our consciousness. We just have to be willing to get silent and to listen for it, to be guided by it. So I had a very interesting dream the other day. And in the dream, there was a woman who was overwhelmed with her list of all things to do. It wasn't me, but you know, everybody in our dreams is who? Ourselves. And so I went up to her and I said, just do it in bite-sized pieces. And so the word bite-sized stayed with me. Because I already know that the most important thing for me to do is what's right before me, and to be in the moment with that, and to know and trust that everything always gets done. And so I shared that with you because you don't have to do all that I'm talking about right now. Well, yes, you do, but no, right now, not right now. Right? But you can take bite size. You can do it in bite size. Do you have a favorite bite-sized candy? Anybody?
Butterfinger.
Butterfinger, bite-sized Butterfingers.
Twix.
Bite-sized Twix. Yeah, they're all better than the really big ones, right? Bite-sized, what else? Chunkies. Buttercup. Yeah, just think of it in terms like that. You don't need to have the whole thing because you're going to feel afterwards anyway. So, but bite size is actually quite pleasurable and delicious, and you won't beat yourself up as much. So take bite-sized pieces of being in this teaching and speaking what you know. There's this wonderful quote by André Gide, who was a French author, and he was a Nobel Prize winner of literature in the 40s. He says, "We cannot discover new oceans unless we have the courage to lose sight of the shore." So bite-sized means take a moment and lose sight of the shore, sight of the issue, sight of the past, sight of your conditioning, sight of your experiences. And then just take one bite of what you savor in the teaching and really savor it, really love it, and really trust it, and let it guide you, and let it speak to you. Digest it and make it a part of you in little bite-sized pieces. Because you and I have a responsibility to apply this teaching and to heal in the areas where we're challenged. It's how we serve humanity. It's how we serve the world. Personally, I would love to go to Turkey and help there. But I would probably be in the way. And so I can heal within my own consciousness what causes me grieving. And I can contribute by healing my own limitations, my own limiting beliefs. And so actually, the things that you and I long for the most, embodying them and living them become our gift to the world. We all long for more love. I mean, anybody here says, no, I'm good, I don't need any of that. Right? We all long for a deeper connection with spirit. I've never heard somebody say, I'm there 24/7. We all long for more peace and harmony in the world, right? And so if we can live that longing by means of our consciousness and dissolve what's in the way using the teaching, that's our service to the world. Radical curiosity then is really the thing that's present all the time. It's saying, oh, it's something alive in me that wants to be expressed and wants to be lived. I want to close with today's quote from the Science of Mind magazine, also by Ernest Holmes, from The Power of an Idea. Life gives us the tools, but we have to use them. It's from the mountaintop of spiritual communion that we receive the inspiration. And we must keep the channel free and clear. We must provide a way for the ideas of spirit to flow into our minds and out into what we're doing. Let me repeat that. Life gives us the tools, but we have to use them. It's from the mountaintop of spiritual communion that we receive the inspiration. And we must keep the channel free and clear. We must provide a way for the ideas of spirit to flow into our minds and out into what we're doing. We are doing really good work in the world. We, all of us, are doing really good work in the world, or we wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be part of this teaching. We wouldn't be a spiritual community. We are doing good work in the world because we have a willingness to connect more deeply with spirit and to make that come alive in the world around us. I know it's not perfect for any of us, but for now, it's enough. And when we think about what more wants to be lived or freed or experienced, we have to keep listening and keep taking it in and keep finding ways to express it. So for our spiritual practice today, I have a song by Jack Fowler, and I want it to be a spiritual practice because I want you to listen behind the song, behind the words of the song. And I want you to hear what you're being called to know at a deeper level. You ready?
Stare at the stars. it goes on for miles and miles, and yet someday it ends. What are the answers? I don't know. The questions become smaller when your love lifts me up, and now I know all there is to know, and now I feel all there is to feel, and in your arms the mysteries of life are told. Knowing love is all there really is to know. One man struggling to get by, another man living like a king, and each will find their truth. One day I'm broken hearted, the next day I can do anything that I wanna do. So many things are better left misunderstood, but it doesn't matter, just as long as I feel you. And now I know all there is to know, and now I feel all there is to feel, and in your arms the mysteries of life are told. Knowing love is all there really is to know. What are the answers? I don't know. The questions become smaller when your love lifts me up, and now I know all there is to know, and now I feel all there is to feel, and in your arms the mysteries of life are told. Knowing love is all there really is to know. Yes, knowing love is all I'll ever really need to know.
Knowing love is all there is to know. Just think about it, that we get to ask love that there is to know. Divine love, universal love. And it will tell us. It will tell us. So thank you everybody for being here today. Without you, we wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here. And so we're very grateful for your presence, your support, your volunteering, all those good things. And if you'd like to support our community today, there's many ways to do that. We have a basket in the back. You can go online. You can text to give. There's a whole list over there. And if somebody says, I'd love to volunteer, we're looking for an IT person to support Mark or to pick your brain, all that. And if somebody says, I want to come in during the week and do a few little chores, that would be great as well. I love vacuuming, but if somebody says, I would like to do that, then come on over. I do. I like chores. Cleaning and ironing and doing laundry. I know, ironing, I do. So bring all your iron. No, just kidding. So let's close then today with a healing treatment. I invite you to close your eyes and just hear these words as if they are your own, as if they completely apply to you. So here I am, standing before divine love, trusting and knowing I always have more than enough, trusting and knowing that it is my foundation, that is the ground upon which I stand, it is the soil upon which I move, it's the air I breathe, it's the words and the beliefs and the ideas I think. And so today, I use radical curiosity to make some choices about what I'm ready to let go of. We can think of it as our Science of Mind Lent, our 40 days of fasting, of something that no longer serves us anymore. Trusting and knowing that this creates a space in us to experience more deeply our own divinity in our own unique, individualized way. And so I trust that each of us are given that which we need to awaken to the power and the presence of the divine and to trust the healing power of love itself. This idea is now implanted in our consciousness, and because all obstacles are removed, new ideas come to us about being of service in the world in a more powerful way, starting within our own consciousness. And then we act. Then we choose to give or volunteer or protest or serve in a new way from that place of fullness and knowing our inherent fullness. I trust and know that life is ever giving us exactly what we need to awaken, to evolve, and to be a deeper, more powerful instrument of love. Accepting this, we now let the law manifest these ideas for each of us in the highest and best ways. And so it is. Thanks, everybody.